Dee, and I'm here with another episode where we're talking about public speaking, communication. We are talking about being a storyteller and a communicator. So, these are some basic tips that you can follow in order to help you become a better communicator, even in everyday life. So, you just did your first presentation. What now? Now is the time to kind of reflect on your experience. So, whenever you finish a speech, I want you to take the time to investigate what it felt like to participate in that experience. Did you feel otherworldly? Like, did you feel like it was an out of body experience? Did you feel as if you were confident or you need more confidence? Talk about to your either to yourself or in an assignment, because some instructors may have you do a reflection assignment. Talk about what you felt during that moment. What were some things that could really help you? Sometimes instructors or the courses are designed for you to do the assignment first and then reflect later. And in the reflection, you may have an opportunity to say, you know what, I should have used a visual aid there, or I should have used some object to kind of get my point across, or I should have moved a certain way. These are all things that you think about. Sometimes I will see learners or students turn their back to the audience. Those are things that you would never want to do when you're in a public speaking setting. You don't want to turn your back to the audience. You want to make sure your audience is fully aware and knows that you're open to communication. Sometimes I'll see where the lighting is so dark, you can't even see the visual aid or the nonverbal communication that the student is taking, or using or trying to show at that time. So those are things that are super important. You want to pay attention to that. What was my verbal communication look like? Did I have the right pacing and cadence of my words? What about my nonverbal communication? We talked about that a little bit with your nonverbal communication. You want to make sure you're standing up, your audience is sitting down. You want to be open. You don't want anything to block the communication process between you and your audience. So you do have to use hand movements, and that's okay. You're a human being. We expect you to use hand movements, but use hand movements that are purposeful and they are natural to you. And then you want to look at your eye contact. Are you constantly looking at your notes that you forget about your audience? Or are you not using your notes at all so you lose your place? Are you going to incorporate visual aids the next time? Like, what are some things that you want to consider and discuss? And then what does that look like? Like, let's say you get an opportunity to do a slideshow, like do a reverse slideshow, where the slide deck is created after the presentation. What would that look like, and how would that enhance the presentation if you had to do it again? So those are things you really want to think about. You really want to discuss. You really want to picture. You really want to make sure you have a good understanding of. And in doing so, you're going to become a better communicator, a better storyteller, and a better public speaker, because now you're thinking about the whole communication process, not just the act of doing it, which is, you standing up there and speaking. And sometimes you're so focused on not being nervous and not having anxiety, you don't realize you're in the middle of a communication process. So now you have to consider all of those pieces. Did I have enough eye contact? And it doesn't have to be all the time, it just needs to be consistent. Did I stand up and was looking in the direction of my audience member? Was I in the middle of the room where my audience could really see me? Was the camera placement correct where everybody can see everything? Was the lighting exactly the way it should be in order for everybody to see everything? Did the background of my PowerPoint, was it too light or too dark, where you couldn't see the writing? Those are all things you want to discuss and kind of think about and ponder so that the next time you'll be even better. So that's what you want to do after you've done the presentation, after the anxiety and the nervousness and the butterflies have subsided. You want to make sure that you are being reflective, that you are investigating your experience, that you're really looking at your experience and looking at ways to make yourself a better communicator, public speaker, and storyteller in the future. This has been Dr. Natasha Davis as I continue this episode of being an online student in a communication course or public speaking course and what that feels like, what that looks like. So I'm so glad you were able to join me, and I will see you in the next episode. Keep going. Just know that you are safe, you're secure, and you are seen. Enjoy your day. Bye.